Kindergarten Cougars, it's Mrs. Bellatash, and we are going to start a new unit. I had so much fun learning about why things move and what materials like wood and paper. But now we're going to look at trees and weather. And we're going to start with a little overview of weather, kind of just get us started before we start our tree part. Okay, air and weather. I'm going to read this book and we'll talk a little bit about the weather. What's the weather today? Lots of things happen in the air. The temperature can change from warm to cold. Clouds may form and rain may fall. The wind can start to blow. The condition of the air at a certain time is called weather. So weather is the condition of the air. Another word for the air is the atmosphere. Can you say that? Atmosphere. All right. How do you know what the weather will be today? One way to find out is to look outside. If the sky is dark and cloudy, you know it might rain. If it is sunny, you know it won't rain, at least not right away. So, do you see these clouds? We don't see very many of those clouds here in Southern California because it's sunny a lot. But this is a big, huge cloud and it looks like it's actually raining. Clouds are made of little drops of water. If there is a lot of water in a cloud, the cloud looks gray. The water drops may get bigger and bigger. They may fall as rain. Boys and girls, we say that when it rains, it is precipitating. Rainfall is called precipitation. Can you say that? Precipitation. Excellent. Or if the air is cold enough, they fall as snow. Well, it doesn't get cold enough here in Los Angeles to have snow, does it? Some days it looks as if clouds are sitting on the ground instead of floating in the sky. The air feels wet and you cannot see very far. These clouds near the ground are called fog. So I used to work at the Griffith Observatory, and one time when I went up to work, it was so foggy you could not even see the building from just a block away, and it's a big building. The weather you see when you look outside may change. A day may start out bright and sunny. Well, I want to show you the pictures. So here is a snowy day. Well, we don't have snowy days here in Southern California, at least down where we live. If you go up in the mountains, you might see some snow. Here's a beautiful, nice, sunny day. That looks more like Southern California, right? A nice, beautiful, sunny day. Later, clouds may form, and soon the sky is filled with clouds. If there's enough water in the clouds and the drops get big enough, it will rain. Remember what rain is? Precipitation. A storm can blow in and out in an afternoon, or a storm can stay around for days. Ooh, look at those clouds. Very dark clouds. And you can even see, looks like there's rain falling from those clouds. Wow. Weather is in the air, and air is all around you. You feel and see the weather every day, all the time. So go outside, enjoy the weather. It may change tomorrow. Oh my goodness, this little girl is having a super fun time playing in the rain. Well, it's kind of nice that we're going to start this weather unit now because here in Los Angeles, the winter time is usually when we have rain. So I am hoping, fingers crossed, that we're going to get some rain maybe over winter break or maybe around Thanksgiving. I would like you to keep track of the weather every single day. I know when Mr. Martinez does the morning announcements, he talks about the weather. You might want to keep track of that how does the weather change as it goes from day to day? And how does it change over time? Not just from one day to the next, but from 1 month to the next. So I'd like you to start paying attention to the weather and keeping track. All right, Cougars, so now that we've talked about the weather, we're going to keep talking about the weather every single week. I know you have a calendar in your classroom and you talk about the weather every day. I'm going to talk about it every single week when I join you. But we're also going to be talking about trees. And trees are the biggest plant on Earth. Isn't it amazing? Some people don't think trees are plants, but they are. So we're going to go outside and we're going to take a look at some of the trees here on the campus at Carpenter. When you walk around your neighborhood, take a look at the trees where you live and see if there are some things that are the same or different. All right, let's go take a look.
I'm going to start with these huge pine trees here at Carpenter. They are the biggest trees that we have on the Carpenter campus. And they are very, very, very tall. But even if it's a really big, big tree, it has the same parts as smaller trees. It has a trunk. Wow, look at the bark of that tree. It is really bumpy. And the trunk goes up, 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 up. And now we can start to see the branches coming off of the trunk. And the branches have smaller branches, little twigs that come off of them. And this is a pine tree. So instead of having leaves, it has needles. But the needles are the leaves of a pine tree. Wow, this is a really big tree. And guess what? My rabbits live underneath it, and so do the chickens. Hello, girls. Hello, girls. Here is another tree near the lunch tables, and it has a very interesting trunk, kind of knobby. And the bark is not as big, it's still bumpy, but it's not as like big pieces. Now, one of the interesting things about this trunk is that right away it starts to split and has big branches that come off of it. And those branches split and they have more and more. This tree has leaves, but the leaves are still small. Here is a different tree, and look at the trunk. It splits down at the bottom. This might be two separate trees, I don't really know. But the bark of this tree is very different. It's really kind of stringy. It's very different from the other trees. But it has the same parts. It has the trunk and branches, and the branches get smaller, and it has leaves. Now this tree is over near my other chicken coop. There's Fancy Nancy. There's Cloudy. Here is another tree. Now, we've just looked at these other trees. We looked at the big, big pine tree. We looked at some of the other trees here. Now that we're looking at this tree, do you think this tree is an old tree or a young tree? What gives you some clues? Yeah, it's a new young tree. It's got a very thin trunk and it's not that tall. This tree was planted just a year or so ago.
It was really fun looking at some trees with you guys. I would like you guys to find your own tree that you're going to adopt. I want you to be able to visit that tree regularly. So make sure it's close to your own house, okay? So that you can go outside, take a peek at the tree, see if it's changed, see if there's anything different about it. So I want you to adopt your own tree, and we're going to pay attention to the trees here at Carpenter and your tree at home over the next couple of months. All right, next week we're going to learn more about the parts of a tree. See you next week, Cougars.